Hello, my name's Allen Newberry, and today we are going to be doing a cool effect that you can do with Silver Wire Inlay, and that is dyeing the area inside a fully enclosed Silver Wire Inlay section a different color than the rest of the handle, and that kind of gives the impression of an inlay of a different type of wood, when really it's the same wood, it's just been dyed differently than the rest of it. So the first thing you're going to need to do is do some Silver Wire Inlay. I have several videos on this that go into detail, but kind of the gist of it is you cut a groove and you're not removing any wood. So after that, you're going to take a flat ribbon of silver and cut it to the right size and hammer it down into the wood. After that, you're going to get it wet and then kind of heat it up a little bit, and that will close the wood that you spread apart to get the wire in there, close it up and hold the wire. Then you're going to sand that down flat and make it nice so that you can do the dyeing. You have that inlay is already sanded down. I'm using some magic maple stain there that has been diluted. Here I tried it two different ways. The darker one was 5 parts water, 1 part magic maple. The lighter, which is the one that I ended up going up with, was 8 parts water and 1 part magic maple stain, which is available through Dunlap Wood Products. I recommend gloves for this because this stuff will stain your hands and you will have brown fingers, which is not the most exciting way to walk around. So this first time, I'm going to stain the entire knife the lighter color, because what stains I'm using here, I'm going to use the same stain but different dilution rates. So I'm just going to go ahead and do kind of a quick staining there of the entire wood handle, making sure you get, all the sides and everything. And this is an acid stain, so it goes on, it looks yellow, but after a few minutes it turns to a browner color, which is, I think they say to wait 15 minutes to really judge the color. I think you can judge it a lot quicker than that. Really kind of once it's dried, you can tell. But yeah, it goes on yellow and then turns brown after a little while. So make sure you get everywhere. You also don't want to get it on your steel too much. You're going to get it on your steel doing some of this stuff. So I recommend after it's kind of soaked into the wood, to go ahead and wipe it off the steel so it doesn't end up, staining or rusting your steel. So now you just have to wait for a little bit, and you can already tell that is accentuating the curl, which is nice. So now we've given it a little bit of time, so you can tell it is no longer yellow in color. It is, a light brown. And so that's going to be what the color inside the maple leaf is going to be. You can also use different dyes. Some people will use leather type dyes that people like to use for leather. We're not doing that here. This is predominantly something that people use for like muzzle loader stocks and that sort of thing, and is one of my preferred ones. Now I'm going to do the outside of the maple leaf. So right here I'm getting up into those tight little corners. You could use a paintbrush. I'm using a toothpick, and I am using undiluted stain here. So this is the magic maple at full strength, which at full strength, it'll dye all kinds of woods. Really, whatever wood you're going to try it on, test it out first. See what it looks like. So you saw I used a test block, so I definitely recommend that. So I'm just getting up in the corners with that toothpick, because mostly I end up using a Q-tip after this and then a paper towel, so I just want to get it to where I don't have to worry about accidentally getting inside that maple leaf. Alright, so here I am switching over to the Q-tip so I can get the parts that are, kind of up close to the maple leaf. And I've been using magic maple stain for a number of years. It is pretty much what I always use for the staining of maple, and sometimes I'll use it on other woods just to kind of darken it up a bit, but it's an acid stain, so it's not going to be exactly that color. You kind of have to try it out and see what it does. All right, so now I'm done with the Q-tip. Now I'm just going to use a paper towel. You could use a dauber or something else like that, or a little piece of wool, whatever it is that you like to apply your stains with. And so just being very careful not to get inside that maple leaf. I've seen people, you could use, this is a leaf. Depending on what time of year you're trying to simulate, a leaf could be brown, it could be red or yellow or green. So you could use, some sort of colored leather dye and get in there and do a completely different color. But I like kind of the more natural look here. It's still a maple, and it's just, darkened up just a little bit. I don't like to use maple generally undyed, just because it's such a light wood. It's easy to get, some staining and things like that on there. And a little bit of stain does a lot to bring out the curl of the maple. So right here, I am now going over that with some steel wool. It's 4/0 stain wool, so it's pretty fine. That kind of knocks off any of the hairs that might be sticking up from this water-based acid stain. And it also helps to accentuate the curl. But you need to be careful not to overdo it, because you'll remove the dye and then you'll need to re-dye that area. So here it is after getting some handle finish. I used True Oil, and I think it turned out pretty nicely. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. And like always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.